This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X-Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
And welcome to the X-Zone, everyone. My name is Rob McConnell, and for the next 4 hours, I'm your host and your guide as together we cross this time-space continuum to this place that I call the X-Zone. It's a place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard. It's a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. And the X-Zone comes to you Monday through Friday from 8 p.m. Eastern until midnight Eastern, right around the world on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, the Starcom Radio Network, Digital Broadcast Network, and Digital Satellite Network. Worldwide toll-free, 800-610-7035. Email xzone at xzoneradiotv.com on all social media sites. X-Zone TV, got it backwards there, X-Zone Radio TV. And our website where you can listen to the X-Zone 24/7, 365, including the live broadcast, www.xzoneradiotv.com. Julie Helena Robinson is our guest this hour. She is an internationally renowned angel intuitive, aspiring author, inspirational speaker, energy healer, and teacher in the field of self-development, spiritual and psychic growth. Born in Montreal, Quebec, and raised in Calgary, Alberta, Julie is completing her bachelor's degree in psychology from Mount Royal University. Julie is a fourth-generation psychic angel intuitive who has completed her, UC? How do you say that? USI Reiki levels 1 and 2, Healing Touch level 1, and Shambhala Reiki Master. Angels have always been with Julie. Her first experience occurred at age 8 when she began hearing and communicating with angels. Through her early college years, Julie received a message from a colleague prompting and encouraging her to write spiritually based self-help books. That became the stepping stone and awareness for Julie's later success and her writing skills, strengths, and many talents. By consciously maintaining a positive attitude so that no matter what life challenges may come, she was always able to see lessons of the experience and continue to improve upon it. It was destined that Julie would pursue a career as an angel communicator, and it was also destined that Julie return back here to the X-Zone. Julie Robinson, welcome back to the X-Zone. How have you been since you and I last chatted a couple of months ago?
Oh, I've been missing you, but I've been doing okay. I've been holding up.
I know that feeling. I miss you too. Now that we've got this,
pleasure to be here.
Yeah, it's great having you with us. What's it? Are you guys in Alberta having a nice summer or a nice fall?
Oh, we are. It's absolutely beautiful. It got up to 21 today.
Ooh, that is pretty nice for this time of year.
Not that I'm showing off.
Well,
yeah, it is for this time of year. Yeah.
So tell us, Julie, being that you're an angel communicator and intuitive psychic, are there any rituals that you follow on a daily basis to prepare yourself for the day of communicating not only with angels, but those on the other side and in the psychic realm?
I did. Oh, yeah, I do. My morning routine is basically I get up, I write 3 pages of freehand writing in what are called my morning pages. And then I do 10 minutes of affirmations to kind of align my energy to the vibration of the angels. And then I do 20 minutes of meditation that includes like chakra clearing. And I bring in all the angels. And then I finish off with chanting.
Wow. Now, I understand the significance of the meditation, but what does the chanting do?
The chanting kind of activates your intuition.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Can you give us an example of one of your chants?
Yeah, one of my favorites, actually, I got it from Tina Turner. It's the same chant that she used to help inspire her to leave Ike back in I think it was the 60s.
I understand that was, I'm going to get your money, I'm going to get your money, I'm going to get your money.
That was not the chant, Rob.
Oh, I'm sorry, it wasn't.
As if she didn't earn it. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. No, it's a Buddhist chant. It's actually Nam-myoho Renge Kyo.
Say that again.
Nam-myoho Renge Kyo.
That's kind of cool sounding.
Yeah.
And how many times do you repeat that?
Well, I mean, you're supposed to repeat, mantras like in 9 groups of 3.
Right.
I don't encourage my students or anyone to be so ritualistic. I think that you have to do what you can do in the morning to align with spirit for the rest of the day, and you need to stop when you feel like you're done. That's how I gauge it. I listen to my intuition, and I stop when I feel, yeah.
Why don't more people listen to their intuition and just ignore it?
Well, I think it's really just a combination of probably patterns. We're not really taught how to use it in school. That's the first thing. And the other thing is we have so much psychic junk going on in our heads. And you know what, Rob? Only 15% of what we experience in a day is processed at night. That's why I developed the morning routine, and I teach it to my Angel Basic students as well, because you kind of wake up with a hangover the next day of events and anticipations of what's to come in the next day. So I think if you can clear yourself in the morning, you'd be more in tune with your intuition throughout the day. Because we are being inundated more than any other time in history, according to the expert, when it comes to EMF and to data, to information that we're supposed to be processing, as well as the stress of daily life. Oh, absolutely. And we get filled with conditions, right, and thought form. And it strengthens and activates our conditional consciousness, also known as our ego. And there's a lot of that going on these days, especially in the political world. Oh, yeah. Well, are you talking Canadian or American?
Well, you know what?
We could have a field day with both right now.
Yeah. Except the Canadian is so boring compared to the American.
Can I tell you something that's not boring about Canadian politics?
Sure.
You remember that incident that came out, I believe it was last year, maybe over 12 months ago, with Justin Trudeau? We got in a bit of hot water because some woman approached him on a bus and complained that members of staff, I can't say who, were sexually harassing her. And he took it really seriously, and he went ahead and fired those individuals without following some legislation. And anyways, he got into a lot of trouble for that. But I had heard about this story, and I had asked my angels about it. And they said that they're able to facilitate good deeds through Trudeau because he's actually quite a clear vessel, and that had he followed protocol, he would have come across a lot of red tape, and those individuals would still be in office.
Oh, good for him. I had the pleasure of knowing his dad, Pierre Elliott Trudeau, and I also, knew Brian Mulroney going back when he was a commissioner on the Cleach Commission, and then when he was actually Prime Minister of Canada. And I admire young Justin, I really do, and I hope he wins. I'm voting for him. But compared to the sideshow, the circus tent acts that are happening in the United States with the political arena there, my gosh, Donald Trump versus Fiorina, and then Bernie Sanders, who is climbing up the polls on Mrs. Clinton, and then the Pope is there stirring the pot. Great times.
Yeah.
Great TV.
Yeah, America at its finest.
Exactly. Julie, I would imagine that dealing in the realms that you deal, you see a lot of sadness with people, a lot of hurt, a lot of pain. How do you protect yourself from having this weigh on you, and what do you do when you feel down?
Well, I think I've really developed my skills in terms of how to deal with sadness. When I was younger, I would be so confused as to what was your stuff, Ron, and what was mine.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's say you had anxiety and I picked up on it. I might get confused and think it was mine.
Holy cow.
And this is actually really common with psychic people with psychic abilities, or that are light workers, or, they call themselves sensitives. Mm-hmm. And I was actually talking with a client about this today. And it would, and then I would think it was mine, and I go, yeah, maybe I am anxious. And I would start to create reasons why I thought why I was anxious, when really it was your energy I was picking up on. And this caused me a lot of problems in my teenage years, and including drug use, and, I would get depressed, and, I would eat my feelings. And then when I learned to work with the angels, this really changed everything for me. So now I actually shield myself with light and the angels, and I also ask the angels if it's mine or if it's the other person's. I seek confirmation. But, I think those are really important tools for people to use anyway, is to shield themselves. And then, of course, I also have boundaries. If I feel that an individual or I'm being treated in a way that's inappropriate, I will remove myself, or I will, assert myself appropriately.
If you could turn back the hands of time, what advice would you give to yourself when you were younger?
Don't give up. Don't give up. I actually had a really good friend, someone who was a mentor to me when I was like 17, a fireman, and he said, Julie, you're going to go through hard times, but just keep telling yourself never to give up. That was probably the best advice I ever got.
You also have said that angels can help us with anything. What did they help what did they help you with?
Well, the angels have helped me to understand the why behind everything. Behind all my questions about people, my questions about events, and most importantly, about my life purpose.
Life purpose. Is each life purpose different for someone, or is it basically the same? Are we all striving for the same finale?
Well, I like to start wide and go narrow. Yes, I believe that we are all here for the purpose to help serve one another. I really do truly believe that. But I think the how we go about serving one another, that's going to be unique to each individual.
Now, as I understand it, when we are getting ready to come down and take physical shape in this body of ours, we actually sit down with others and discuss a life plan. Am I correct?
I haven't actually heard it that way.
Okay.
Yeah, I've heard it a little bit differently. I've heard more of in terms of like a soul contract, and between you and your creators is what I've actually heard.
Why would we have to do this?
Well, I mean, if you think of your life kind of like if you're on a film set, I don't know. I trust that you've probably worked in film and television before. It's like you're sitting down with your co-stars and you're kind of preparing for the scene to kind of, just go over things.
Yeah.
I think it's the communication with your collective soul, like the collective soul that we all have, where we slightly remember, but we forget. That feeling that you get when you meet someone, you're like, I know you, and you just click with them. It's the first time meeting them, and you're like, yeah, I can spend time with you. I can see why God brought you into my life. You can just see it. These are the people that are the major players in our life, and I think it can really help us to withstand some of the, less desirable things we have to deal with on Earth.
How many times do we have to repeat the process before we get to our next level of ascension or spirituality?
Oh, well, that depends on the person. I mean, if you're Hitler, it could be a couple million. I really think that it depends on your karmic balance. which is your balance, of course, is dependent upon all the good deeds that you have performed in each incarnation. So I think the more credits that you have, probably the less lives you have to come back for.
Now, you've had a successful spiritual counseling practice for over 7 years now. What have you learned or observed about people, and what is it they have the hardest time with?
I feel that, the thing that I notice in everybody, and this just seems to be across the board, is that people just want to be heard.
They want to have a voice.
People, they want to have a voice. They want to know that what they're saying matters to someone else, that they're understood. I also believe people really want to be listened to, and, people have a hard time trusting just anyone with their deepest feelings or thoughts on things. And I think that once they're able to open up and trust that one person, it kind of makes it easier for them to be themselves with everyone.
Mm. But if we do sit down and come up with a soul contract or life contract, however you said it, wouldn't the script be written so we can't deviate from it, or does the deviation come under free will?
Yeah, the deviation comes under free will, absolutely. I mean, your higher self is pretty much guiding you what to... Now, I'm saying this as an extreme point. Your higher self is guiding you what to say, what to do, moment to moment. Now, you do have the free will to listen to that, but I really do believe that even some of the, quote, mistakes are part of God's plan for your life. I do.
How much of God's plan is actually put into our plan?
A lot of it. I would venture to say all of it, actually. I would venture to say that there are no mistakes, that nothing happens without God's permission.
So would God be one of the people that we sit down and do our contract with?
I believe that it's God and the angels. That's what I believe.
What's the difference between an angel and a spirit guide?
Well, a spirit guide may or may not be an angel. A spirit guide may be your grandmother or your mother or your child. But in order to become a spirit guide, a soul does have to go under some kind of a training, and they kind of clean up the soul after their incarnations in order to qualify as a spirit guide. And a spirit guide is different than, let's say, I do mediumship session on Sunday and their grandma comes through with messages. They may come through with messages, but they still may not be their spirit guide. An angel is basically, one of God's messengers that more chances than not has never had any incarnation here on the physical plane, and has been specifically assigned to that individual for this incarnation.
As a spiritual counselor, can you tell us about one of your most awe-inspiring moments?
As a spiritual counselor, for me or for the client?
For you.
How are you defining awe-inspiring?
Most, it was just something that, in your opinion, was wow. The wow factor.
The one that's coming to my mind is, I have to be careful what I say, because many of my clients are still active. But I would say, generally speaking, that it was when one of my clients got to the point where it's when all of them have breakthroughs and when they realize things themselves, and when they come to me like in the next session and they're getting better. And like I had a client actually the other day say to me, these things that used to be difficult for me are just easier. And they can't explain it, but I understand it. It's that, they're talking through, they're working through stuff. And then they leave the call or, the session and they feel lighter and they feel more equipped to deal with the world. And I think it's every single time that I hear that, that's very inspiring for me. It makes me feel like I'm doing a good job. And I feel so pleased to know that they're feeling better and doing better in life. It gives me so much joy, Rob.
I can understand that, and I can appreciate that. Sad to believe that you're basically doing what members of religious philosophy should be doing. And that's not a put down to you. I'm saying kudos to you and the great work that you do. But when you see that people seem to be getting...
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. They're losing faith in their religious philosophies. They're not getting answers. And when they get an answer, the answer doesn't make sense. That they are looking, they are searching, and they're fortunate enough to find you or other people like yourself who are in it for the right reason.
Right.
Hats off to you. And
so I know exactly what you mean. You mean like people that, like we should be able to turn to a priest, for example, and get that comfort and get that love without having to, go to a psychologist or a psychic reader, whatever. Yeah, right. Or a teacher, right? Teacher should be. But the thing is not everybody does get into jobs for the right reason. But I think it's with every job. There's some people that want to be there and those that are misaligned with their life purpose as well.
How do you incorporate angels into your spiritual ministry and your spiritual counseling?
Well, I actually help people to connect with their angels. The first way is obviously through delivering angel messages. So, that kind of aligns them to validate that the angels are in fact present in their lives. And then, of course, I teach the Angel Basic Workshop series, where I teach people how to give readings themselves and to better connect with their own angel spirit guides.
How can people tell when angels are around them?
Okay. Well, it's different for everyone, but I'd say here are some general rules.
Okay.
For a lot of people, they feel heat. You can feel heat. Like when people come over to my place, they're like, oh, my God, it's so hot in here because there's so many angels. The other thing, too, I know we talked about this last time, is that angelic guidance, if you feel like you're getting it, is always going to be short, to the point, and spoken in the third party. And they kind of sound a little Shakespearean. Like, they sound very proper. Their messages sound very ethereal-like. And also, you'll feel the love. You cannot discount that. I mean, that is probably the most universally... applicable ways to tell if you have an angel experience is you're going to feel an enormous amount of love and bliss.
Are the angels always happy and positive?
They're never positive, nor are they negative. I feel like they're neutral, but very loving.
Like a cousin, like an aunt, like an uncle, like a grandmother?
It depends on your cousin, right? I'm pretty lucky. I have really great cousins. That are very loving.
Right.
Are they positive or negative like an uncle? I think you could say yeah, but minus the, emotional baggage. Angels will support you. They will affirm you, right? Like an uncle would, right? Like a good uncle who says, like, you can do it and I'm proud of you and good for you. No, they're not like that. They will give you information that will uplift you, but they're not going to be kind of cheesy by saying, like, way to go, if that makes sense. Like, I've had quite a few successes over the past 7 years, and I felt the love and that my angels were cheering me on, but it's not the same as the way humans do it. And thankfully, the angels do it for longer. Like, I mean, if you've overcome a really hard lesson or you've gone through a hard time, you can literally feel your angels supporting you for weeks. Like, it's nonstop. And, just giving you guidance and love and encouragement and ideas of how to even keep getting better. I mean, it's this ever-flowing unconditional support and love that they give. So it's like, I guess, like your favorite uncle, if you have one, times a million.
Wow. That is strong. What is their main job? What is their main goal? Their main goal. And are they different from guardian angels, or are guardian angels the same as our angels that are with us?
It's funny, we had this conversation last night, me and Jeanette Nienaber, my mentor for the past 7 years, and we were talking about the difference between guardian angels and archangels. Archangels are essentially like the managers of the angel kingdom. So they actually manage guardian angels, and they also help. They have different life areas that they actually can help you with. So, like, for example, if you needed help with your career or anything to do with your life purpose or money, you could call on the Archangel Ariel, for example. She helps with everything connected to your root chakra. And then Jophiel connects to your solar plexus chakra. She helps you with boundaries and, those types of things. And then, of course, you have guardian angels. Those are the angels that are appointed to you since birth. And their sole mission is to ensure that you are safe and protected. And, they keep tabs on everything that's going on around you and to make sure basically that you're here until your time is up. In terms of a general purpose of why, what they're here to do, it's to bring us peace. They want us to be at peace. They will do anything in order for us to be at peace.
The next time around, do we get the same angels with us?
I get a yes on that.
So I guess our guardian angels and our angels are like the Secret Service for the president. They're to protect
only
us.
better dressed.
Yeah, and they don't get drunk and go driving into an active bomb scene, do they?
No, not typically.
Not typically. Exonation, Julie Robinson is our guest this hour. And her website is juliespiritualhealer.com. That's juliespiritualhealer.com. Julie, you and I have to take our news break at the bottom of the hour. Please stand by. And when we come back, we're going to be talking about more angels because, as you know, Exonation, angels, my most favorite topic of all, because I believe in angels. I know they're real. And Julie and I will be back to share angel stories with you as we continue here in the X-Zone from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Worldwide toll-free, 800-610-7035. Email xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. On all social media sites, X-Zone Radio TV. And our main website for the radio show where you can listen to the show, 724-365, www.xzoneradiotv.com. Don't forget, Wednesday, September the 30th, the debate of UFO debates. Stanton T. Friedman will be debating Michael Horn. The topic for the debate, the Billy Meyer UFO case in Switzerland, of which, by the way, Michael Horn is the North American representative for Billy Meyer. I'll be back on the other side of this break with the news as we continue with yours truly, Rob McConnell, my special guest this hour, Julie Robinson, from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't go away. What if Jesus came back now and insisted that we listen to him? How would the world be different if Christians really followed the Gospels? For 2,000 years, we've been practicing a religion. Now it's finally time to get it right. Read Liberating Jesus, new from Roberta Grimes. Meet the Jesus you never knew. Roberta uses afterlife evidence and biblical analysis to prove that Jesus is exactly right. Learning the lessons that he came to teach is the reason we are born at all. Roberta says he has come back now to insist that we actually listen to him so we can begin to use his teachings to unite and transform the world. Liberating Jesus on Amazon, October 1st, and then wherever books are sold. Jesus has the answers, and it's not too late. Roberta blogs and answers questions at robertagrimes.com. The Carl O. Helvey Holistic Cancer Foundation is a new nonprofit foundation that focuses on a holistic approach to cancer that includes physical, mental, spiritual, and political aspects. Cancer education, research, and care are provided for all types of cancer patients. You can listen to interviews with cancer doctors and survivors and read research on holistic aspects of cancer at www.holisticcancerfoundation.com. That's www.holisticcancerfoundation.com.
The scientist and the mystic have been on an age-old, relentless search with one thing in common. They seek truth. Their paths converge in the 40,000-year-old practice of shamanism, an ancient science delving to the quantum level of life, facilitating healing, manifestation, and evolution. I'm Gwilda Wiyaka, the founder and director of Path Home Shamanic Arts School, a unique Colorado State-certified occupational school training shamanic practitioners and teachers. We also provide classes for empowering personal lives through shamanism. Our certification classes are in week-long segments enabling international participation, and online classes and long-distance shamanic healing sessions are available. Come discover the science of magic in the limitless world of shamanism. www.findyourpathhome.com.
Jeff Gilson didn't go out looking for adventure, danger, or the answers to most of the controversial political intrigues of the past 30 years. But he found all three when he began investigating the mysterious death of his close friend, Margaret Thatcher's favorite speechwriter. Just an ordinary guy living in a small, sleepy suburb 20 miles outside of London, Jeff's questions provoked a powerful response on both sides of the Atlantic. He was shot at, warned off by the CIA, and formed a close bond with one of Israel's most notorious intelligence officers. Relive Jeff's gripping adventure in his fast-paced book, Maggie's Hammer. Peel away the layers of establishment deception and discover, as Jeff did, that his friend was an assassin with British intelligence, that Great Britain has been America's secret hitman for the past 30 years, and that Princess Diana was not the target in that Parisian tunnel. All of this and more when you visit www.maggieshammer.com and find the link to buying this explosive book online. More and more ordinary people feel they no longer have control of their lives. Jeff fought back. He asked the difficult questions. He set out to redesign his own destiny, and you can do the same using Maggie's Hammer as your guide. Don't waste a moment. Buy it today. Visit www.maggieshammer.com. Do you think you have energy problems in your home? Do you feel better when you're away than when you're home? Joey Korn is a global leader in the world of dowsing who specializes in personal energy clearing and space clearing. He can help you create an ideal energy environment in your home no matter where you live in the world. Learn about his remote spiritual house cleaning services and much more at www.dowsers.com. You can get Joey's book, Dowsing, A Path to Enlightenment, as well as other dowsing books and tools, Kabbalah books, and Walter Russell books. Joey's work is really amazing. Go to dowsers.com right now. That's DOWSERS.com or call 1-877-DOWSING. That's 1-877-369-7464.
Wouldn't you love to know the secret to everything? Well then, meet Dr. Kimberly McGeorge and her cutting-edge breakthrough knowledge that combines science with possibility. Dr. Kimberly brings real-life answers and healing to those open to alternative solutions. She teaches solution-based programs and classes that will change all areas of your life forever. Specializing in conscious creation, intuitive readings, and energy medicine, you can rapidly shift health, relationships, business, and money and abundance challenges quickly. Receive her best-selling book, Secret to Everything, at no cost by going to secrettoeverything.com/X-Zone. That's right, transformation can start now. Just go to secrettoeverything.com/X-Zone and receive Dr. Kimberly's book for free.
Welcome back, everyone. This is the X Zone. I am Rob McConnell. Julie Robinson's our special guest this hour. We're talking about angels, and Julie is also a...
I'm also juicy.
Yeah. Ever have one of those days when the mind goes one way, then the tongue goes another way? It's just one of those days.
Yes, I call it Monday.
Oh,
but
geez.
yeah, Wednesday works too.
Yeah.
That's
Hump
why it's
day.
called Hump Day, isn't
Hump
it?
Day, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, let's try this again. All right. Julie Robinson is an internationally renowned angel intuitive, aspiring author, inspirational speaker, energy healer, and teacher in the fields of self-development, spiritual, and psychic growth. Her website is www.juliespiritualhealer.com. Hey, Julie, I understand you're writing a manuscript. Tell me about it.
Okay, well, I actually wrote a manuscript over the past 5 years, and it recently got split into 2 volumes in the spring. And the first volume is all about manifestation and what drives it, what are the blocks to manifestation, and really like the 5 ingredients that you need for every good manifestation.
Now, when you say manifestation, can you describe what a manifestation is for our listeners?
Sure. Well, I mean, we're always manifesting, and I mean creating, right? Let's say I wanted to, manifest a business, a small business of some kind. So I have to be clear. There's ingredients that go into that, right? And I call that the manifestation process. Those ingredients, what you have to do to achieve that creation, as it were.
Okay. So what do we do next?
Well, what do we do next?
Yeah, like is that the gist of what a manifestation is? Is just getting your ducks in order so that something can happen?
Oh no, there's a lot more to it than that.
Okay.
And actually, in the second chapter, I talk about the must-have ingredients, and I outline why certain manifestations don't work. I'll give you one secret before you read the book, and that is you have to have love in yourself in order to be a good manifester. There's so many failed manifestations out there, and I know that people get so frustrated, but you have to be really passionate, and you have to have a lot of love in order for the manifestation to work.
Plus, if you can't love yourself, no one else will either.
Well, right,
Yeah.
because your love is like a magnet. Your
Yep.
heart chakra is the largest attraction force that you have. It's the biggest tool that you have, and it's so underestimated. But really, I mean, if you're loving, people can feel it, and they'll just want to be around you,
So why is it that it's taken us so long to understand that this is the key? These are the pieces to the jigsaw puzzle of life that we've been missing.
Because it's taken me so many lifetimes to finally be able to write it, to write the book. You haven't read my book yet. That's why.
Yeah, but that's putting a lot on you. But what about the rest of us? How come we haven't caught on?
That's a good question. I think that we haven't caught on because, it goes back to what we are and are not taught in school, the school curriculum. But there's so many distractions. If you look at our media, of course not your show, because your show brings the consciousness up. But there's a lot of media and magazines out there that I think the focus is on the external. We think, I want that, so if I look like that, then I'll have that, right? Media is designed to say, hey, if you want this guy, buy this Coke. You know what I mean? And it's not promoted, we're not bombarded by, if you want this guy, you need to make him stand and deliver. You need to have boundaries, respect, self-respect, get some. We don't have commercials like that. Yeah. So, yeah, I think it's just, what we're surrounded by.
What was your inspiration?
Part of it, anyway.
What was your inspiration for writing your manuscript?
Oh, well, I was actually working in my second semester of university when I had a colleague look at me, and she's an elder. Now, when a 75-year-old psychic woman who looks like, she just knows all, looks at you and gives you some advice, you really pay attention. And what she said to me was, she says, Julie, you think that you are supposed to wait until you get your PhD to write all these books that the angels have shown you that you're going to write. She goes, but actually, in fact, you're supposed to start writing them now. And I was just shocked. I was like, what? So, so I ended up taking a sabbatical and started writing it. And I said, well, what would I write about? She goes, write about what you know. And that's what I've been doing ever since. So,
because as far as I understand it, Julie, angels don't care if you have a master's degree, a PhD, or a high school leaving certificate, or even an elementary school certificate. They care about who you are and what's on the inside.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if they can use you.
In a good way. In a good way.
Channel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like use you as a vessel, right? Like a vessel for their messages and the light, and to do good, right? And
Sure.
I think I am pretty open to that, yeah.
So I understand that you used your book was used as a healing vessel for you. How did that happen?
Well, I mean, it wasn't intentional. I mean, you think you know certain things at a certain point in your life, and then, channeling this book, I mean, every day, I'd get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and really be guided to channel what these messages were. Really did do a work on me. It actually helped me to comprehend how to heal myself with the angels better.
Right.
Information that I hadn't actually been able to read about in any other books, and also how to heal myself with my own chakras in my body, which blew me out of the water.
Why would that blow you out of the water?
Well, because they basically informed me that the chakras in our body correspond with various life areas. And I didn't really understand that, or I didn't really understand how that worked. But I was forced to learn, as I channeled this book, I was forced to learn that if your root chakra is compromised, I mean, it could affect your money, right? I didn't really, I had heard it, I understood it on an intellectual level, but when I did this book, obviously I did the work on myself, right? I wanted to see if it works, kind of like a chef in the kitchen testing her recipes. And I felt my own energy really transformed through the spiritual principles in this book. So that's really what I mean.
So I believe there's 7 chakras, right?
Well, there's 7 basic chakras, correct?
And
then there's the extended chakra system.
And they all work together to make us who we are, and if one is off balance, things don't go right in our life.
Well, yeah, they don't only make us who we are, but they also manifest constantly. So you could, let's say you, for example, right, you have this great job and you help people because your chakras are running at a certain vibrational rate. Now, you may have an imbalance in one of your chakras that's affecting another area of your life that you have no idea, but if you heal the chakra, then all of a sudden you get more success in that area, and it's because of the work you did on your chakras and in yourself and your belief systems connected to them.
So how important is our own spiritual belief when it comes to the chakras, when it comes to angels, when it comes to being intuitive? I know what the textbook answer is, and I gave that up many years ago because, all the people who are writing the textbooks weren't showing any results of their own teachings. So how does this work? How can we, first of all, how can I detect if there is something wrong with one of my chakras?
Well, in answer to your question, your beliefs are so important because it's one of the 3 things that drives manifestation. So basically, you have a thought, right? You believe that people are inherently good. But before that thought actually gets acclimated into your system, it drops down into your already formed belief system. And that belief system is based on things that you've learned, things that you have experienced that you believe to be true. So then it gets switched around, gets mixed around, and said, does this thought really work with what I already have, before it even gets implemented into your system? So let's say that, yes, your belief system says, you know what, Ron, people are inherently good. So now it's in your belief system. That then transfers that information to your emotions. And depending on how passionately you feel about it, that's going to generate a momentum that's going to then transfer information from your emotions to the chakras in your body. Now, the chakras in your body, those spinning wheels, those emit a frequency to the world of form. Those are your magnets. Those are what will pull people and situations to you, which is why that principle, the law of attraction, like attract like, that so you'll start to attract people that share those same beliefs as you, right? Kind of like how you and I met. And so your beliefs drive your manifestations wholeheartedly.
So, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
You give courses in Calgary, Alberta, at the Seventh Chakra Center. Tell me about the courses that you offer to members of the public.
Well, I offer the Angel Basics Workshop Series. So that's Angel Basics 1, 2, and 3. Mm-hmm. And then I teach a Chakras at Work workshop series, which is basically teaching about all the work, just what I explained to you now, all the chakras and individual workshops you can take to develop chakras and manifest better in your life areas.
What's it like after you've completed a course? And you remember how the person was when they started with you to the person now who has their eyes wide open with a better understanding. Yeah.
I mean, it's a great feeling. I can tell you I sleep very well at night. I can never put a price tag on how rewarding it really is. Mm-hmm. I mean, I have clients who take my workshops, and they also are my clients sometimes for counseling or readings and whatnot. And to see them grow, it just is so. It just validates that what the angels share with people is real, and it just gives me hope that what I'm doing what I should be doing. So it's just so rewarding.
Geez, I had a question and I just lost it.
Couldn't have been important.
It was. That was just it. It was. How many of these...
The angels took it from you.
Yeah, they did. Give it back. Give it back.
Yeah, they do that. It's funny.
Why do they do that?
Because you were not supposed to say it, honestly.
Oh.
Sometimes you get an idea and then they're like, no. Just clearing it out.
Do angel messages come in the dream state as well as during the waking hours?
They do, but I have to warn that dreams do not mean directly what they seem. So, for example, let's say I dream about my ex-boyfriend, mm-hmm. and let's say I dream that my ex-boyfriend wants to get back together with me. And, some of these dreams can make you feel really good when you wake up in the morning, let's be honest. So you wake up and you're like, oh, I wonder if he's going to call. Good pat on the back, stroke to the ego.
Sure.
But what people often don't realize is that it means that your current situation is probably going to get a boost. So it doesn't have anything to do with the ex-boyfriend, but the ex-boyfriend is kind of symbolic of your current partner. So yes, you can get messages in your dreams, but just be careful about interpreting them.
I was asking specifically about messages from angels in your dreams. Should you trust those messages?
Oh.
Yeah. But at least we now know that you still think of your boyfriend, your old boyfriend.
I do. I think of him a lot. Yeah, that's out there now. I can never take this back. Angels in the dream. I think that is actually. I think that's why I answered that, is because that is the way that angels communicate with us, is through our dreams. So if I get an image of my ex-boyfriend, my angels are showing me something about him. That is the angels.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So how long do your courses last?
Well, it depends, but they range from about 2 hours, anywhere from 2 to 2.5 to 4.5 hours, depending on which level.
So if I was to take your Angel Practitioner Certification course, level 1, how long will it take me to get certified? Is it a one day? Is it a weekend? Is it a couple of weeks?
Oh, it's just on the weekend. So Angel Basics level 1 is, you can take the class, and that'll be 2.5 hours. But then there's work that you have to do to get certified. So you'd have to perform so many readings to other people, and then you have to get tested. So I would test you on the information that you've learned in the class before I can certify you.
Do you ever have people? Do you ever have people who try to pull the wool over your eyes or the angel wing over your eyes?
In terms of?
they really didn't catch, they really didn't understand what you were talking about, and they're going to try and, just fool you enough to get you to pass them and give them the certificate?
Never.
No way.
No, I'm not easy to trick. The angels, I've been blessed. They let me see everything. Nobody's been successful at tricking me at anything in a really long time, so I'm pretty lucky there. And plus, I attract good people. I attract people with really good integrity, so that's a pat on the back to you too, Rob.
Oh, thanks, dear. I appreciate that. So what is up next for you in the next couple of months as we get ready for the Christmas holiday?
Well, I'm going to continue teaching, getting closer to Christmas, teaching and just, doing a lot more readings. And I've got, my 2 radio shows, of course, that I do. I have the Angel Heart Talk Show every Thursday afternoon, and I also have a new show, the Julie Robinson Sunday Show. That's every Sunday at 12:30, and I have an Ask Julie segment called Banana Letters.
But where does that fit in? What's the meaning of banana leathers?
Well, I know it sounds kind of like, outside of the scope of the work that I do, because everything is angels and spirit, and then I have this segment called Banana Letters. It's more to appeal to people with everyday problems, things that are making them go crazy, things that are making them go bananas.
Oh, did you say banana letters?
Yeah.
Oh,
what did you think I said?
Banana leathers. I'm saying she's gone off the deep end.
No.
All right, now it makes sense. Okay.
Oh, no, I'm a vegan. I'm a member of PETA. There's no way that there'd be leather in my show. No, banana letters.
That's why it threw me, because I remember the last time you were talking to me, where you were telling us that you were a vegan and the rest of it. So when you said banana leathers, I said, what?
No, letters. So people write into my show from all over the world. I even get letters from people in the islands, and they write into me and they ask for mine and the angels' advice to help them to basically clear up their life situations and their problems.
Now it makes sense. Julie, you and I have to say so long for tonight, my dear. I want to thank you ever so much for joining us. Always a great pleasure. Tell our listeners how they can find out more about you.
You can get a hold of me through my website, juliespiritualhealer.com.
It's that plain and it's that simple. Julie, as always, thanks very much for sharing with us, and I look forward to the next time you come back here and join us in the X Zone, and it's always great having you and your angels and online with us.
Well, thank you. I look forward to it.
You take care of yourself now, Julie. Bye-bye
Thank
now.
you. You too, Rob.
Bye-bye, dear.
Bye-bye.
Exo Nation, Julie Robinson has been my guest this hour. She is in Calgary, Alberta. www.juliespiritualhealer.com. juliespiritualhealer.com. And I must admit, Exo Nation, that when I thought she said banana leathers, I figured, what the heck? What do you do? Wear yellow pants that are made of leather when you do your show? I don't know. But I'm glad she clarified that for us. We've got to do a bit of business this top of the hour, Exo Nation. When we come back, we're going to be talking about dreams. And we're also going to be talking to the regional director of the School of Metaphysics, which is headquartered in Missouri, USA. This is the X Zone. I am Rob McConnell. This is a place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard. It's a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. And as you all know, we come to you Monday through Friday from 8 p.m. Eastern until midnight, right here on the X Zone Broadcast Network, Starcom Radio Network, Digital Broadcast Network, and Digital Satellite Network. I'll be back on the other side of this message as we continue from our broadcast center here in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't go away. Welcome back, Exo Nation. This is just my little soapbox time when I've got a message for the Canadian Prime Minister Harper. And it goes, "Hey, Prime Minister Harper, before you let any more refugees or immigrants into Canada, here's an unusual idea. Why not make sure that all Canadians are taken care of? I mean, take care of the homeless, take care of our hungry, take care of our poor, take care of our sick, take care of our senior citizens. Bring back jobs that have been outsourced and have taken jobs away from Canadians. It's time, Prime Minister, that Canadians take back Canada and abolish the over-politically correct attitude that we've been forced into becoming. No one asked me if I wanted to be politically correct, and I'm certain that no other Canadian was asked either. It's time Canada says enough is enough. The international free ride is over. No more immigration or refugees into Canada until all Canadians are taken care of first. It is Canadians who should vote on immigration policies and not be left up to the politicians who have only one goal, and that's to win votes by whatever means possible, including allowing immigrants and refugees into Canada. For those of you who have been fortunate enough to get into this great country of ours, if you do not like our traditions, our way of living, our great history, our rich culture and heritage, if you don't agree with having the Bible in our schools, saying Merry Christmas, celebrating Easter, having nativity signs at Christmas, Christmas trees, Christmas carols, saying Merry, Merry, Merry Christmas, or any of our other long-time Canadian traditions, well, here's a little bit of friendly advice. Where the plane landed, it takes off and will return you to where you have come from. So, Mr. Harper, once again, before you let in more refugees or immigrants into Canada, take care of Canadians first. For the X Zone Radio and TV show and for the X Chronicles newspaper, I am Rob McConnell.